thing that most people pay attention to are the failures, the falls. You know what I mean? So it could be possible that people see more good, but the things that people actually talk about, actually discuss, that's actually put on display, I think, for the world by and large, and then makes it onto like 9 o'clock news is the issues that we have, the sin.
Tastemakers.
Class. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers, alright. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living.
We don't have content for anything, do we, Bree?
We don't.
Okay. Has social media helped or hurt the church? Like has social media helped or hurt? I guess we could say both. So more hurt, more help. Brina, what you got?
I think as far as marketing goes, the ability to live stream, because some churches use, social media pages, Facebook, Instagram to live stream their services. I think it has helped in that regard with getting the word out. But on the flip side, now you have this extra magnifying glass on all of your shenanigans, if they exist, and the whole world now has access to these clips that can be uploaded to many social media sites for people to repost and comment on and laugh at and stitch and all of the hilarious things that happen. So
Shine in the chat.
Because of social media, we've seen things, and a lot of those things have been topics on this show that we would have known nothing about if it were not for camera phones and social media. We wouldn't know what goes on in these other services. So I think it's a mixture of both.
Definitely a mixture of both. I will just ask you to make a declaration. Helped more or hurt more?
I think it's helped more.
Okay. Amen. Amen. What you got, Lost?
I'm gonna say right off the bat, I think it hurts more. I think social media, like you were talking about, as far as like marketing and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think most churches know how to market anyway, but it does help. I guess casting out that net, right? But I think social media, the thing that most people pay attention to are the failures, the falls. You know what I mean? So I think it could be possible that people see more good, but the things that people actually talk about, actually discuss, that's actually put on display, I think, for the world by and large, and then makes it onto like 9 o'clock news is the issues that we have, the sin. So I think it's hurt. I know in my own personal life, I joined my last church through watching a YouTube video. So it's helped me, but I think by and large, I don't think most people are for one, not even believers, and then most believers probably don't even use social media or in that way to find a church. So yeah, I probably would argue it hurts more.
Trish.
I mean, I don't know. I would lean towards it helps more, but I don't know because I don't have the stats. You know what I'm saying? But I would lean more towards that it has helped more, only based off of my own experiences and people that I know. I've, oh, that's.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
What did y'all hear?
You're something.
Voice.
Yeah, something. Good night.
Yeah, the Parson house is now armed. Good night. It was Siri.
Siri, okay. But yeah, I mean, as much access we have to sermons and podcasts and social media, like even wow, why is this talking? Why is Siri trying to talk to me? That was weird.
Because we keep saying Siri.
What's our guy's name? Tim
Ross?
Yes. Why can't I think his last name? I love what he's doing. Like I love what he's
empire,
doing.
isn't he?
Literally.
Yeah.
And not a lot of pastors are doing it the way that he's doing it. And so, I think that there are a lot of people who are coming back to the Lord, or just like being introduced to the church, being introduced to Jesus because of him. And a lot of, pastors or just people who are doing podcasts. So I do think that it has helped more in that sense. So, but of course, there are ways that it has hurt. Like you got people who are just out here saying whatever, and people just following whatever the people are saying, and and that could be detrimental. So, um, I think if you're not a part of a church and that's not your foundation, and you just kind of like are only on social media and that's your like main thing, that could be problematic if you don't have a community who's grounding you and kind of like helping you navigate like what is good to listen to and watch or not. So yeah, that's all I
Okay.
got.
So my thought process would be, I was ready to go heavy on. Y'all are funny. I was gonna go heavy on. I was gonna go heavy on hurt. Obviously, it's done both, right? Without a shadow of a
Sure.
doubt, it's done both. I think the thing that kind of brought me back, maybe in the middle or whatever, was what Trish said. I mean, the what cats like Tim Ross are doing, and the empires they are building, and really being able to put cats on, get cats paid more money than what YouTube is paying them and whatnot. That kind of thing, or maybe even you could say the kind of things that Ruslan is doing, or whatever the case may be. It's been a while since I checked out Roos, but Roos has built some stuff here. You know what I mean? And you look at those kind of empires, probably wrong word, but these industries almost that people are building, that are taking care of people, and from that standpoint, social media, great. You know what I mean? But that's not just a church thing, right? That's just a thing in general. So from a database standpoint, I love it. From a database standpoint, I love it. The ability to be able to just go and get so much information, videos, sermons, or whatever the case may be, and just really keep feeding yourself with the word, with knowledge, with wisdom, with faith, with all that stuff. It's great. It's beautiful. I'll still lean a little bit, 51-49% on probably does more hurting than helping. Mainly because of the bias that people have. It makes it very easy for them to reassure their bias. The facts that we still, in 2024, still don't feel the need to get context about stuff, and will take a 30-second, 60-second clip and run with it. Without context, without checking out a full sermon or whatever the case may be. That's still
Annoying.
so freaking problematic.
Yeah.
And again, because COVID pushed everybody online, everybody don't need to be online.
That
But
part.
COVID pushed everybody online. So during COVID, we're all locked down. Everybody's church gets pushed online. This is a good thing because you can be at home, sheltering in place, and still receiving the word that you need, or still being a part of a community in some form or fashion. That's good. Well, now we're not in pandemic anymore. Technically we're not. You know what I mean? And so have churches really rebounded? Have people forsaken community now that they can, quote unquote, go to Bedside Baptist every Sunday or whatever the case may be? Are people forsaking community? When they probably need to be in somebody's church.
Sure.
Right.
Getting sharpened in that form or fashion, and that's just not from a good thing. But a lot of times, what just got certain patterns you notice in the faith, right? And a lot of times, your growth is a lot of times a frustration that happens, and then it causes you to grow. Well, that frustration normally doesn't happen when you're by yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
That frustration normally happens when you get around other believers, other people are forced to learn, are forced to love, are forced to forgive, are forced to withstand correction or give correction, whatever the case may be. That's where this growth a lot of times happens. So are we lacking in that now? Different things of that nature is kind of my thought process. So database, love it. What it maybe does to our church community and how it reassures non-believers or maybe people with a bias or maybe even people with just a church hurt. That's a whole nother ballgame. I mean, listen, man, there's churches on every freaking corner. Everybody don't need to be online. People have been preaching crazy stuff for years. That's not new.
Right.
We just didn't hear it.
Right.
online like every Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just didn't hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People have had their own ways and doctrines and thoughts and whatever for years. This is nothing new. But now you get to hear it and pick a piece and hear the craziness or even dunk on certain things. Or it's just a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, just go to church. Get yourself in a Bible believing church. Get around a Bible believing community and do that thing. And we don't necessarily need social media for that. 100%. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a both, but I'm gonna say hurt more than help. I think that's the way that I'm gonna lean on that. That's definitely a thought there. And and I'm not even trying to be, because there are many things that the church missed out on. We used to always hear that church had first dibs on television stuff back in the day, and was like, nah, we don't want to do that, and they kind of missed out. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It might just be a catch-22. You know what I mean? That just might be what it is. So
yeah.
That's the thoughts. Y'all make sure to like, subscribe, do all the things. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. It's the Tastemakers, and we are making good progress here. We are making...
Let me just address Kyle real quick.
Do what you do, but
First of all, Kyle, I was not defending anyone. What I was saying and admonishing to you is not to name call. You was calling out names. So I wasn't defending anyone. Like dirty mouth just sounds so. That sounds. I don't know. Am I the only one? Am I tripping? It's dirty mouth. Was you?
I'm not.
So are we saying filthy mouth? What do you mean? I mean, dirty mouth. I think he was right with his adjective, right?
Oh Lord.
I mean, would you? But I'm saying, would you call somebody who is a professing believer dirty mouth, or even if they're not?
What if we said filthy mouth? Does it make any difference? Foul mouth?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just the way it's being said. It was like, dang, like.
I'm not a fan, so I'm with it. I'm not a fan.
You don't like Tim? Yeah. What's wrong with Tim?
I do.
Hold on.
Time for that.
Oh, Tim, you say you don't like Tim. Okay, Tim.
You said
I'm not prepared because I don't have notes. Like I need notes. And
wait,
all that.
Why you need notes?
I just don't agree. I don't agree with his approach. I think can he be used as a believer? Yes, Tim Ross. Yeah. He's also this is not like a disqualification of a pastor type of conversation because he's not pastoring no more, right?
But he's not a pastor,
it's just
right?
Personal preference. I don't care for him. But I also don't care for a lot of people. So,
is it
the antics?
He curses?
Is one. It's I don't know where I stand on cursing as a believer right now. I'm not sure where, because I look at scripture and I see, as far as just having a dirty mouth in general.
That is wild to me. Go ahead.
So yeah, I just don't know fully where I land when it comes to cussing, because it's deeper than that anyway. So for Tim Ross, I don't. Certain people rub you the wrong way. He's one of them people rub me the wrong way, and then I don't.
Have you met him?
Have not. So could be different in person.
He rubbed you the wrong way.
No, not in person. Yeah.
I got you.
But like I said, I don't like a lot of people, so it's not, I might not be able to justify it. You know what I mean? Outside of the
100%.
antics, the antics turn me off. The connections that he has turn me off. The Mike Todd. So for me, it's a nah,
Yeah,
nah.
Gotcha.
understood.
Anybody knows, anybody who's watched the show plenty of time knows I am a Tim Ross fanboy. I really, really enjoy Tim. I like the way he moves. I like, what he does, whatever the case may be. Everything he does isn't necessarily what I would do.
Sure.
But, I hold space for that in many ways because we're all here with
Yeah.
different purposes and different graces to do different jobs here on earth for the
Yeah.
kingdom. You know, I could see the connections thing a lot of times, even when you say with Mike Todd and whatnot. Mike has been wild, but Mike is growing, guys. I think if you really, really watch Mike, I think you would see levels of growth. And once again, it also becomes everybody's cup of tea. I've never sat and watched a Mike Todd sermon and been like, yo, this is just everything. It's just not my cup. I'm also,
Sure.
in my opinion, I am not on milk. But for those who are still getting it through that nipple, I need them to have an outlet. You feel what I'm saying? I need them to be able to receive in that way. And one of the things I always make a reference to is my little brother. My little brother has kind of been in and out of church for years and whatnot, and he really enjoys Mike Todd and really tries to. He's trying to get himself back together, and that's one of the areas where he's in. So I appreciate a cat like Mike being able to speak to my little brother who can't even rock with a cat like Tim. Tim is too boring, and for my little brother. So I appreciate that and stuff like that. I also love just watching that camp. I love their accountability. You could say what you want about a lot of the things they might say, do, whatever the case may be. But when I tell you they hold each other accountable and they submit to each other, it's really kind of cool. And you're not going to hear scandals and stuff like that come from that camp. I promise you. Watch. Them cats are doing accountability right. They are doing
Oh, I believe
accountability
it.
pretty daggone right.
I believe it, and I think what attracted me to watching Tim was his like transparency and his like
Yeah.
ability to just be mad real. Like many people, specifically a lot of Christians, are so fake and phony. Like they cover up so much. That's I can't. I just can't. And I think that's why I respect him so much. Um, I I can't not keep listening to him because I'm like, yo, even just his story, his testimony, I'm like, man, how can you not respect this man when he's telling his story, he's telling his he ain't sugarcoating nothing. He ain't acting like, oh, I'm better than this, I did this and that. Nah, he like, nah, this is me. Like, this is me, this is what you're gonna get, and I'm being transparent. And he also knows his word. Like, he know his word. Like, you can call him dirty mouth, foul mouth, whatever you want to call him. The man knows his word, and he's very much, I see him being obedient to the Lord in real time, which is rare, especially for people on podcasts. It's very rare. And he's not doing like a lot. He don't be doing a lot. He just be talking. He just be talking. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, how can somebody captivate so many people just by being so honest and upfront? I can see why he's not everybody's cup of tea.
Cup of tea, of
Because he's
course,
so
as
blunt.
nobody
He's
is,
very
right?
blunt.
Nobody
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
everybody's cup of tea.
Blunt.
So yeah, it's
Right.
understandable.
Absolutely.
It's
He's
understandable.
definitely gifted. That's for sure. You
For
can't take
sure.
that away. Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
but even I thought it was very mature of him to make the decision he made, right? To say, hey, look,
Step
I
down.
use this language, but I am now seeing where using this language is not expedient. So I'm going to stop using this language on camera because it's not expedient. You know what I mean? It's just not. I'm causing people to trip, and it's just not worth it. That's not what. I mean, yes, I want to be completely me, but I've been hearing somebody talk about lately the difference between transparency and nakedness. You know what I mean? Transparency is
It is a
kind of
difference.
allowing you to see into a thing, where
Sure.
nakedness is kind of really breaking down the details of that thing. You know what I mean? It's one thing to say, hey, I have this issue with, sexual sin. It's another thing to say, hey, look, I've been struggling with this, whatever, and this, it's different between nakedness and transparency, and whatever the case may be. And you can say that Jesus was a stripper comment wasn't beneficial one way or the other. We've had that debate on this show concerning it. I don't know.
But I mean, it doesn't disqualify everything that he said.
Like said off of one comment, and I think if you listen to the context of the whole sermon, it just it's a whole different ballgame.
It made sense. I get it. The math was also. I wouldn't have said it, but I get it.
Yeah. And also, Kyle mentioned Mike Todd affirming the heteric Carlton Pearson. You just got to be so careful. You really do. All right. You got to be so careful. Many people, and you can say the word affirm Carlton Pearson, but it's not a matter of affirming Carlton Pearson. It's Carlton Pearson helped so many people, guys, and helped to build so many people in the faith. And so then he takes an idea and he goes left. And you're like, dang, I love you. You've never shown me nothing but love. You've helped to raise and disciple cats, and then you took a left turn. I can't go there with you, player. I think you're wrong. But I don't mean you ain't never done me nothing wrong. You never done nothing to me. I still love you, whatever the case may be. So you talk about Mike Todd. Mike Todd is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Where's Carlton Pearson? In Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went to Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went to Higher Dimension. I went to Carlton Pearson's church for years before he went right. Before he went left. When he went left, I went right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I just think about worshiping to Carlton Pearson songs as a child and having my just experience of being in the presence of God and worshiping God. And then you have some sort of revelation. Maybe, you were tricked, you were deceived, who deceived you, whatever. That don't mean I don't love you and respect you. I just can't go there with you, player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can't go there with you. So when he says, quote unquote, he affirms Carlton Pearson, y'all got to understand Carlton Pearson, he rocked out for everybody back in the day. Y'all just got to understand that. And when you're the cat that put everybody on, you know what I mean? And then you go left, and cats don't go left with you, but they still love you.
It's respect.
Ain't never done nobody dirty.
I think it's more respect more than anything. Like even if that man was still gone, left when he passed away, nobody knows that but God. And I don't think that Mike Todd being there with him and quote unquote affirming him, whatever he was, I don't know about that. I don't know about the affirmation, but all I know is affirmation
probably just saying that, hey, I rock with this guy. I might not believe everything he does, but I rock with this guy.
As a human being.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to do that. It's okay.
But I do know that, I don't know if it was a memorial service that Mike Todd was involved with. The one that
he's talking about the funeral service.
But there were like two different funeral services though. There was one that Mike Todd was, behind, and they had put some rules in place as far as certain things they wouldn't allow to happen during that ceremony. And then there was another one that I want to say Larry Reed was kind of behind that one, where they honored all of Carlton Pearson's wishes. So I'm not too sure that Mike Todd really fully, rock with Carlton Pearson theology wise, but I think he just respected him as a person. And
many people did. Y'all. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like from what you just said there, Mike Todd did a service for him, rocked with him, but said, hey guys, one thing we're not going to do is this, and this, and this.
Yep.
Whereas it sounds like what you're saying is Larry Reed did a joint and said, we're going to honor all of Carlton Pearson's wishes, concerning this situation. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't know what to say. You don't understand when Carlton Pearson was putting everybody on. Azusa? Do you guys not understand? Like maybe you don't understand. Maybe that's it. Maybe cats don't really understand how much he touched all over certain levels of gospel and gospel music. You feel what I'm saying? And he was just always the big homie that looked out for everybody. You never heard any like true blue, a lot of, real deal scandals and stuff like that until, people always, but still, it's just, he went left. Man, who bewitched you? You know what I mean?
All the way.
Hate that for you. hate that for
Yeah.
you. But I mean, even like John P. Key was even saying, like, man, so many cats just rock with Carlton. Y'all don't understand. Carlton used to. Anyway, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's just he went left, and man, I really wish he didn't go left, but he
But
didn't.
even sorry, not to cut you off. At the end
Yeah,
of the day, that has nothing to do with Tim Ross. Just
yeah,
just
yeah.
want to
Shouts
put
out
that
to
out there.
Regis in the chat.
Oh god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, Mike, who is from Tulsa and who is the big dude in Tulsa now, honored the dude who was the big dude in Tulsa for many years. The guy who paved the way. That's just that's kind of what it was. This dude was
I'll add
go
just
ahead.
one last thing. I'll add,
Yeah,
where I think maybe Kyle is coming from. And I could be wrong about this, but I think Mike Todd took some material from Carlton Pearson that was from the left, going left, and that might be because I don't remember correctly, but people were talking about he was plagiarizing. And I think he might have been one of those names that he took from where stuff was like out of context, or whatever, scripturally. So that could be where I think some of the issues coming from with Kyle. And I think with Kyle, I think I'm kind of in that same camp where I think his most paramount, and this is just from me seeing Kyle on everybody's podcast and chiming in. I think he cares so much about the sheep and them not being, uh,
deceived.
led astray and deceived. Yeah, where that is number one, and I don't care about nothing else. Everything else comes after that. Um, so I think that's where Kyle's coming from. I could be wrong, Kyle. You can correct me if I'm not. But I think that's where like he's just that's number one. And I think that even myself, where I can be very harsh on people, and it's probably could be what's happening with Tim. I can be very harsh, very legalistic at times. So I got to check myself. But it's because I've been in that position where I've been in the churches where I was not being taught correctly. I believed stuff that was incorrect. I was pushed into leadership before I should have been, and then I deconstructed that. People don't like that word, but
Well, no, no,
deconstructed
yeah,
my
to the
faith.
truth. Yeah,
It led me to closer to Jesus,
and then
but
build on
all
that.
because of the Lord was opening my eyes to the truth of Scripture. But I think that's where he's coming from, but I could be wrong.
No, no, I think you're absolutely right, which is why I've always held space for Kyle. Like, and Trisha and Brina was saying, I've always held space for Kyle for that very reason. And I'll preach on this till the cows come home, guys. We are all different, which are
Yeah.
with our own origin stories that make us who we are and the purpose that God has put in our life and the direction He's pushing on us. For as much as I need the grace, baby, is as much as I need the cat that's on everybody's neck. Do you see what I'm saying? I need it all because it all is used as a tool in the hand of God at a certain time. Now, where I do often get upset with people is when people don't respect both sides. They think that only their side is the right side. No, the grace baby is good, and the cat whose apologetics on the next is good. It's all good. It's all for the glory of God, and it's just all different. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, many different tools for different jobs.
Yeah.
Some seed, some water. It's only God who brings the harvest.
Yeah.
So that's it. We just have to learn, and I think it's a maturity thing across the board. Like we see this on YouTube all day long. We have to, in my opinion, we have to learn to respect and say, that's not how I would do, but man, I love the fact that you do that. I love that you do that. That's not how I would go. It's not how I would say it. I wouldn't say it like that, but I'm glad that you do. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It just keeps everything in check. There's checks and balances everywhere. So anyway, that's my thought process. I'll preach that till the cows come home.
and
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 so,
and challenges can happen too. If for me it's like if it's getting legalistic to the point of like, all right, now we're on something else, we're outside of the biblical ways of doing things, then I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something. I,
yeah,
I I would be
Right.
remiss if I don't say. And Kyle, no, I'm gonna challenge. If I feel like you out of pocket, I'm gonna say, hey, sir, no, we don't do that here. Like we just don't. Like I don't. I don't, and the assumptions, like, I don't like assumptions. I don't like us like making assumptions about something we don't know, or, name calling, like stuff like that. It's like, I don't know if that's like, I don't know that that's godly. Like calling people out their name. I don't. That's just me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I don't.
No, I mean, like you said, I mean, I'll always be a grace baby, and so I'm right there with you, Trish, a lot of times. But I understand everybody can't be quote the grace baby, because if everybody's quote the grace baby, where is the balance? Where the heck is the balance? You feel what I'm saying?
That part. Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's the same thing with the other side of things, right? That's my thought process. Shouts out to Judon in the chat. But yeah. No, that's exactly what I was saying. Regis was at Oral Roberts with me. So yeah, just man, guys, I can't even begin to tell you guys what Carlton Pearson was to gospel and blackness and black gospel and and Christianity for a very long time. And he was so solid, guys. He was so freaking solid. And then he went left with this idea. And it was like, wow. Really? That's what we're doing?
Like, how did you
But when a guy has, when a dude platforms so many people and it's just never, he never snaked anybody. You feel what I'm saying?
Wait, and who called God the N-word? Who called God the N-word? Are you saying Tim Ross called God the N-word?
I could easily see somebody referring to God as my nigga. I could see that. I could see that happens.
I'm like, depending on the context. Depending on the context.
I mean, it's not where I lead normally, but am I going to tell you that in my prayer life, throughout my whole life as a Christian, I've never referred to God as my nigga? I can't say that I have.
Natalie Lauren.
Oh,
he's saying Natalie Lauren.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's different. I thought we were talking about Tim Ross. We talking about Tim Ross.
So man, I mean, I've been at stages with my life, in my life and in my journey where I tried to go head up with God. He put me in my place, but I'm just saying it's happened. You know what I'm saying? he quickly he gave me a little grace, and then he put me in my daggone place. But that's part of the seasons and the life and the joint that we kind of go through as in this Christian walk. What topic are we even on anymore?
I don't even know, but we gotta
Listen. Let's go ahead and hit up these last couple topics and get on out of here.
Tastemakers. Class. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make